Thanks for tuning in. I'm your host Hakman, and in today's episode, I'll be reviewing a 2021 Acura RDX A-Spec. Let's get into this episode and find out what this car is all about. This car is powered by a 2-liter inline-4 turbo engine that's mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission. It makes 272 horsepower and 280 pound-feet of torque. In today's day and age, that is actually pretty decent, and with that 10-speed automatic transmission, you do get better fuel economy and a smoother drive when you're in the city or on the highway. This is supposed to be Acura's answer to BMW X3, Audi Q5, Mercedes GLC 300. Let's take this baby for a spin and see how she does against the athletic competition that is the Q5, the GLC, and the BMW X3. So in Sport Plus, it actually changes gears right on the money. It's actually pretty athletic. So I'm not even changing gears on my own. It's doing everything on its own, but it's downshifting at the right time in Sport Plus. So when I brake, it downshifts right when it's supposed to, and in the corner I didn't feel like I was hunting for any gear or anything. It had the right gear throughout, and it was downshifting and upshifting at the right times. Although I do find, like, when you're driving in the city, it tends to get confused sometimes, but that's to do with so many gears that the car has to go through. Now it's in comfort. Yeah, so when you change it from Sport Plus to Comfort, you feel the difference right away. The car's not revving as high, and it changes like gears right away and just has a calm demeanor. This car is very agile. There's no doubt about that, and you know, it has Honda engineering, so there's no doubts there. The SUVs or the crossovers that are coming out in today's day and age, they handle more like mid-sized sedans than SUVs of old times. And again, this is not the biggest SUV that you can buy, but it's still a heavy car. But it doesn't feel like it when you're driving it or when you're throwing it in the corner. That has to do with Acura's super handling all-wheel drive as well, because it is a good all-wheel drive system because it has torque vectoring, so it can send power to whatever wheel needs it, and it's done a good job in the handling of this vehicle as well. For those of you who are familiar with Acuras, the A-Spec package is mostly your exterior body styling and some interior differences than your regular RDX. Let me know what you guys think of the exterior styling and the interior styling of this vehicle in the comment section. I would love to hear what you guys have to say and what your experiences are. Right when you enter the vehicle and sit into it and you're getting ready to drive, first thing you notice is there's no shifter here. Well, in my opinion, that's a good thing. What they've done is they have more storage areas. If you're not used to it, you might not like it, but it's a bold move on Acura's part, and I actually like what they've done with their removal of the shifter and just having these buttons for park, reverse, neutral, drive, and sport. The interior on it is really well designed. They do have these seats that are kind of like leather, and I don't know if it's Alcantara or what it is, but it's a nice touch, because especially if you have the heated seats and the cooling seats on, it makes a big difference when it's not just some leather material. It has its standard features like every car these days. It's got the blind spot monitoring, it's got the lane departure system, it's got your radar cruise control. So it has all the bells and whistles that you need in the A-Spec package. The cabin's really well lit, so everything is clear, like you know where everything is. And at nighttime, obviously, because once you have the lights on, you know where every button is, and there's no hunting for any buttons. Coming back to the things I like, as I mentioned, the removal of the shifter, I really think that's a bold move on Acura's part. The thing that I like right away, they have their dynamic mode. You can switch it in the vehicle through this knob. I guess you go snow, comfort, sport, sport plus. The steering doesn't really change, but your engine and transmission, you can feel the difference right away. Another thing that I really like is the back seat. So you can actually have 3 people sit in the back rather than have 2 people and a kid, because what I really appreciate is Acura has no bump that you have usually in every car in the middle, in the back. So by removing that and having a flat floor, you can have 3 people sit comfortably in this car. Even the cargo space is very decent for its class. The blind spot detectors on this car are kind of like how Audi does it. So they're in here instead of being outside on the mirror. So I personally find these better because you can never miss this light, as opposed to the blind spot detectors that you have on the mirror. And that's just my personal opinion. One thing that I don't like is the steering wheel controls. They're nice, but in a way, the reason I don't like them is it's too many things going on. The left does this, the right does that. I don't want to get into details and bore you guys. I just find it's too many steps that you have to do, and maybe it's just me that I don't like that, but it is worth a mention in things I don't like. Then you have the trackpad that Acura has, and I think they had the right idea, but it's a little too sensitive. You can adjust it, but it's not my cup of tea, because they have like one that goes like left and right, and then one that is for vertical movements. So again, too many things going on. The transmission on this is in Sport Plus, and Sport is actually really good. But in Comfort, I find it's always trying to hunt for gears. It's not going in the right gear, or if you give it gas, it takes a while to downshift. But in Sport Plus, I find that it does a really good job. So pricing, performance, comfort, this RDX is right up there with them. It's a well-rounded car, this Acura RDX. It is right up there with the competition, especially X3, Q5, and GLC. That is obviously if you're just going for their standard versions and not the sport ones. It has it all and does it really well. So there you have it, guys. That's it for today's episode. Before I sign out, like, subscribe, and comment to my videos. For those of you who've already subscribed, liked, and comment, once again, I really appreciate your support. See you guys next week. Hakman out.